partners that put this together with Emerge USA. We have the Michigan Muslim Community Council. If you could raise your hand if you're representing Michigan Muslim Community Council. If you're representing APIA Vote, please raise your hand. If you're representing CARE, they may have already left. Oh, there we go. There we go. And Women's March. Thank you.
I got a question and a couple points I'm going to touch on to clarify this question. The question is, if you're a U.S. citizen but have dual nationality of another country, can they deport you to that country? And I assume this question means if you're coming back in on your passport. No, a U.S. citizen, this ban does not apply to U.S. citizens. The only way U.S. citizens are going to lose their nationality if you're denaturalized, and that's a long criminal process. But I want to take, just to explain some differences, because a lot of questions were coming. This came up yesterday at the town hall a number of times we spoke about. This ban does not apply to U.S. citizens. This ban does not apply to U.S. citizens traveling to these countries. That would be a travel ban. Travel bans have not been implemented to these countries. Will they implement travel bans to these countries? We don't know. But right now, there is no travel ban. Also, visa waiver program, where these countries came from. This does not apply to U.S. citizens either. The visa waiver program is when somebody from Europe uses the visa waiver to get their ESTA, then to come into the U.S. If you had traveled to one of these 5 countries or 7 countries in the past 5 years, you can't get that program. So that does not apply to U.S. citizens at all. So when you start hearing these terms and whether it applies to U.S. citizens, it does not. I am not 100, I mean, look, the travel ban, in my opinion, from the way seeing this, and our opinion has been pretty strong in our organization, because as of September, we kind of conceded that Trump is going to win. So we began working on the Muslim ban stuff. We began working on the Muslim registry that's coming up. Because the direction of the way things are going, and unfortunately the low voter turnout we're seeing, kind of indicated that this was going to happen. So keep going, keep getting engaged. But the travel ban we do see going in that way. The order itself, and this was a question passed down, will there be a Muslim registry? I believe Section 10 of the order calls for the establishment of a biometric entry-exit system that's very, very similar to the NSEERS program we saw in 2001, 2002 after 9/11. Thankfully, the Obama administration deregulated that. It is off the books. But this Trump administration could reintroduce something similar to NSEERS, which will force people to go from these 7 countries to go register. On the flip side, we've actually heard from immigration advocates that this may be a good thing because they may apply a more thorough U.S. visit program, which applies to all visitors coming inside the country. I can't see that happening. I don't think this man intended to have anything good come out of this. I know some people are trying to be optimistic about it, but I do anticipate a Muslim registry coming up. I do anticipate a travel ban to some of these countries coming up, which will impact citizens. Finally, I want to say ADC is collecting a list or stories of allegations on the border. If you've heard of anybody that has had an issue with a CBP officer, this is related to the ban. Mistreated, asked questions about their religion, detained for an extended period of time with no food. Anything you hear, if you've worked with these people personally, not if you've heard it through the media, because we have these stories, but if you've worked with these people personally, please email us, legal, L-E-G-A-L, at adc.org. It's very important we collect these stories for a larger initiative that's happening. We need these case examples. We need to know who was mistreated, where, when, and the time, so we can collect these. Just to wrap up, look, it's been mentioned, vote, get involved, support groups like Emerge out here in Michigan, get involved in your local politics, get involved in your local elections. We're nonpartisan. I can't endorse one party or another, but I could tell you to get out there and vote, register people to vote, get people to sign up to get their citizenships from one of these clinics, but take those initiatives, because if we don't, the next 4 years are going to be even longer, 8 years. Thank you.
So, one quick thing. We've been talking a little bit this evening about stories, right? We, on the legal side, use stories to present our case. We use the story and we fit it to the facts, and we say, no, what happened to you is unconstitutional or it's illegal because it violates your equal protection rights. it violates your due process, you didn't get notice of this, it's against the First Amendment, whatever it happens to be, we need stories so that we can apply the law and do our work. But we also need stories outside of the legal work, right? And I think that's actually where the greatest change is going to happen. We can leverage and utilize the courts to play defense, but in order to change the opinions of more people, that's done through storytelling, through allyship, through having conversations, perhaps difficult conversations with people who may not be like you, and sharing this time and really trying to find a way and a venue to do so. That could be online, that could be through art, that could be in multiple venues. So think about how you can do that. And I think that's actually a response to one of these questions. How do you stay engaged without getting overwhelmed, right? We need to pace ourselves. It seems frenetic, and the beginning of this has been, really busy the past 12, 13 days, but there's a lot ahead of us. So we need to put it all in context. I know it seems really urgent, but if we all continue to operate at this pace, we'll all burn out, and we won't be able to do our work. Also, give money to organizations like the ones you see up here, so that we can continue to do this work.
Okay, I'll keep it really short because I think I made my point clear. I want everyone to call their state reps and congressmen in case that didn't come out from the very beginning. Somebody made a point also to call your city councilmen or mayors or anyone at the local level to encourage them to be designated as a sanctuary city. Also another great action tool. And so, I think there's power in our vote, there's power in our voices, and we can certainly encourage others to do the right thing through those. If by chance any of you aren't registered to vote, we do have voter registration forms right outside, so please feel free to take them. We will even keep them and take them to the appropriate city clerk or wherever they need to go to officially register you. So we are happy to do that, so we really encourage everyone to be registered to vote as well. And so finally, just to end on an optimistic note, because I feel like I've been lecturing at you guys all night, honestly, it's been like 2 weeks, barely, since he's been president. And I mean, I have never been involved in more protests and town halls and community gatherings of people from geographic diversity, ethnic diversity, racial diversity. This is like the third panel I speak on in less than a week, and it's been a full room until late night times of the evening of people from everywhere. And so it's really awesome. So please give yourselves a round of applause, because we couldn't do this without this.
So as we're going to be wrapping this program up, please understand that there are action items that you found on your chair that I do want to go over with you before everything wraps up. So I'm going to ask the speakers if you guys could keep your answers a little bit brief. Thank you.
I had one question regarding sanctuary cities. What are the potential effects that the ban has on sanctuary cities? Section 9 of the presidential order specifically states that sanctuary cities who willfully refuse to comply with that order and enforce the immigration regulations on people who are illegal or who are in violation of the order will not receive federal funding. The sanctuary cities receive federal funding because these sanctuary cities provide a safe haven and protect some of the immigrants who need the protection. At this point in time in Michigan, I think there was talk that Dearborn should become a sanctuary city. I know Ann Arbor is talking about it, Lansing. And I think part of the push for the sanctuary cities is because Michigan has opened its arms and its hearts to some of the Syrian refugees who very badly needed a place to go. So as we move forward with the sanctuary cities and their eligibility, I'm sure this will become an issue. But as of right now, Section 9 outlines the ramifications for sanctuary cities.
So today was the memorial service for some of those who were killed at the mosque in Quebec City. Last week there was a mosque in Texas and Victoria which was torched to the ground. There was 2 weeks ago a mosque in Seattle which was torched, and a few months ago the mosque which allegedly was frequented by the Orlando nightclub shooter was itself also firebombed. But over the last few days, 57 Jewish community centers have also received bomb threats. So we find that the climate tonight is one that is affecting several communities. As Stephanie said, the need to create alliances is absolutely critical. It has so many different impacts and consequences. One, keeping people engaged, keeping people sane, keeping people from being despaired, and keeping people committed toward a better future. I think somebody said earlier that there's this need for people to be side by side with one another. I'd like to actually take it a little bit further. I have no qualms being in front of you. Hopefully that is a spirit that can catch on as well. Thank you.
Thank you for your patience. I know you've been here all for a long time. Just a couple of things. You know, that executive order was signed on the day of Remembrance of Holocaust. You wonder if there was a double meaning on that, which is it's disheartening. But you know, there's something else too. I think it's good to be mindful of, is that many of the folks that voted for the president there, they really haven't been. There's a lot of them that said they haven't been educated, and a lot of them have not been. There's this ISPU statistic that 75% of Americans haven't met a Muslim, and part of it is culture, part of it is education, and I think part of that outreach, besides protesting and resisting and all that, is also to reach out to those folks, because a lot of them are acting out of ignorance instead of really out of hate. They're acting out of fear. Instead of, and the sitting president it's taking advantage of that. So we have to be mindful of that, and also part of the outreach is to reach out, to open up arms, extend arms to those who are thirsty and are yearning for knowledge about the whole issue. Thank you.
I'll just be really, really quick. I know that I've seen this phrase kind of circulating. Just want to remind everybody, as time goes on, it's gonna be easy to get used to things. Don't get used to it. Don't normalize anything that this administration does. It is crazy. It is inhumane, and just keep reminding yourself to be outraged.
Thank you to the panel. Thank you to all of you out here that are still here. I'm still going to go over the action items with you, if you can give brace with me. But I do want to thank everybody on the panel. I want to thank Abed Ayoub. I want to thank Ruby Robinson. I want to thank Fayrouz Saad, Munib Ahmed, Professor Saeed Khan, Sharif Akil, and Stephanie Kenner. Now, in front of you on your chair, you had found some action items that you can, work on moving forward. As you see, my wife here, she's passing out some Know Your Rights cards that Mr. Robinson here asked us to pass out. Keep that on you. But one, get politically engaged and register to vote. We have registration forms outside of this door. If you're not registered to vote, you need to get registered. Two, make sure you know who represents you. Who is your state representative? Who represents you in the congressional level? Senate. Look it up at michigan.gov. Find out, know this. Find out their email addresses, their phone numbers. Make calls and send emails to your elected officials. They work for you. Do not fret about sending emails. Make sure you call. It's been reiterated over and over again by Fayrouz, by numerous people on this panel. Make calls, send emails. Get involved in all local politics. Be aware of your city council, your school board, and attend regular meetings. Find out when these meetings are taking place and show up. Keep numbers of organizations in your pocket, such as CARE, ABC, and the ACLU. Keep them handy in case you need them. Donate to organizations that are working hard for the community. Example organizations that you can donate to on the civic engagement level are Emerge USA Michigan, my own organization, APIA Vote Michigan. I heard some laughs, but I gotta, API Vote Michigan. On the legal and civil rights tier, you have CARE, ADC, and the ACLU. And as a community convener, we have MMCC and Women's March. And then obviously, we have the Research for Muslim Americans, we have ISPU. So these are some example organizations that you can donate to that are working hard on the ground, that are doing a lot of work, that really need funds and need your help. Participate in Emerge USA Michigan's Mosque Ambassador Program. Sign up to be an ambassador and help to politically engage your community. There is a sign-up sheet outside for this program. Whatever mosque you are from, we want to make sure that we have a representative at each mosque. Sign up, say what mosque you go to, and we can get into all these. We can get into your mosque and help engage your community, and you can help be the guy or woman that helps your community get engaged. And finally, mark your calendar for events that you can get engaged with, you can get active on. An example of an event is Capital Day that will be coming up. We will be, Emerge USA and MMCC will be partnering up on May 9th, where we will go to Lansing, meet with reps, and have meetings and have workshops. It will allow the youth, it will allow the elderly, it will allow middle-aged, it will allow people from all different backgrounds to come together, better understand our government, and get engaged. If you have any other concerns or any future questions, my email address is at the bottom of this page, hsheikh@emerge-usa.org. Feel free to email me. We have all your email addresses. All the information that was going around earlier today, I will be sending an email out to everybody here, and we will be keeping in touch. And please, please continue this passion that has kept you guys here till late in the night. We need all of this, and we need everybody to work together. So thank you very much.